Hey kiddos, it's Miss Cooper, and I'm so excited for today's writing lesson. Let's go ahead and get started. Our writing objective today is that we can describe and identify characters in a story. Do you all remember what the word objective means? Good job. Objective means something that you're going to be able to do at the end of this lesson. So, at the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to describe and identify characters in a story. Do you all remember what identify means from yesterday's lesson? Good job. Identify means to find. So you are going to be finding the characters in the story. And there's something else you're going to be doing. Can you say the word describe? Good job. You're going to be describing the characters. That means you're going to be telling what the characters have that makes them a character. So at the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify the characters and describe what makes a character. Do you all remember what is a character? Good job. A character is a person, an animal, or an object, and characters need something. What is it that they all have to have? Yes, a face. All right, let's go ahead and sing the song. Ready? A character has a face. A character has a face. Eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. A character has a face. And that is how we're going to be describing our characters by saying, I know that this is a character because it's an animal and it has a face. Good job, kiddos. Okay, we're going to be reading one of my favorite books called Chrysanthemum. A very long word. Can you say that word? Chrysanthemum. Good job. And this book is by Kevin Hinkles. Kevin Hinkles wrote the words in the book, so he's the author and he's also the illustrator, which means he drew the pictures. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The day she was born was the happiest day in her parents' lives. She's perfect, said her mother. Absolutely, said her father. And she was. She was absolutely perfect. Miss Cooper's going to stop on this page because I know our objective is that I can identify and describe characters in a story. And I'm going to look at the illustration. Remember, illustration is another word for picture or drawing. I'm looking at this and I see an animal, and I know that animals can be characters, but I also know that they have to have a face. So this looks like it's a mouse, and I see character has a face. A character has a face. I see eyes, I see ears, I see nose, and I'm going to say this is a mouth. So this is my character. All right, let's continue reading. Her name must be everything she is, said her mother. Her name must be absolutely perfect, said her father. And it was Chrysanthemum. Her parents named her Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum grew and grew and grew. And when she was old enough to appreciate it, Chrysanthemum loved her name. She loved the way it sounded when her mother woke her up. She loved the way it sounded when her father called her for dinner. And she loved the way it sounded when she whispered it to herself in the bathroom mirror. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum loved the way her name looked when it was written with ink on an envelope. She loved the way it looked when it was written with icing on her birthday cake. And she loved the way it looked when she wrote it herself with a fat orange crayon. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum thought her name was absolutely perfect. And then she started school. On the first day of school, Chrysanthemum wore the sunniest dress and the brightest smile. She ran all the way. Hooray, said Chrysanthemum, school. But when Mrs. Chud took roll call, everyone giggled upon hearing Chrysanthemum's name. Kipsters, I'm going to stop right here because I think there's some characters on this story. I want you to identify one character on this page. And I also want you to describe that character. So that means you're going to find one character on the page and you're going to tell me how you know that that's a character. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. Can you point to the character? Can you describe that character and tell me why it's a character? Good job. So Miss Cooper is looking at this character, and I know that I know this is a character because I know that characters can be animals and characters must have a face. And I see eyes, I see ears, I see a mouth and nose. So this is a character. And there are a lot of other characters on this page. These are all the school children that Chrysanthemum goes to school with. All right, let's keep reading. It's so long, said Joe. It scarcely fits on your name tag, said Rita, pointing. Ooh, that's a big word. Scarcely means barely. So her name barely fit on her name tag. I'm named after my grandmother, said Victoria. You're named after a flower. Chrysanthemum wilted. Say the word wilted. That means she got tiny. Flowers, they also wilt if they need water. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. Can you say the word dreadful? Dreadful is another word for bad or negative, which means not good. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and informed Mrs. Chudd that Chrysanthemum's name was spelled with 13 letters. That's exactly half as many letters as there are in the entire alphabet, Victoria explained. Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria, said Mrs. Chudd. Now put your head down. If I had a name like yours, I'll change it, Victoria said, as the students lined up to go home. I wish I could, thought Chrysanthemum miserably. Say the word miserably. That means that she was feeling really bad and sad. Welcome home, said mother. Welcome home, said father. School is no place for me, said Chrysanthemum. My name is too long. It scarcely fits on my name tag, and I'm named after a flower. Oh, psh, said mother. Your name is beautiful and precious and priceless and fascinating and winsome, said her father. Those were a lot of words. Precious. Can you say that word precious? Priceless, fascinating, and winsome. All of those words means good things. It means good. Precious, priceless, fascinating, and winsome. It's everything you are, said mother. Absolutely perfect, said father. Chrysanthemum felt so much better after her favorite dinner, macaroni and cheese with ketchup. An evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed her name was Jane. It was an extremely pleasant dream. The next morning, Chrysanthemum wore her more comfortable jumper. She walked to school as slowly as she could. She dragged her feet in the dirt. Chrysanthemum, 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 she wrote. She even looks like a flower, said Victoria, as Chrysanthemum entered the playground. Let's pick her, said Rita, pointing. Let's smell her, said Joy. Chrysanthemum wilted. Let's go ahead and wilt. That means you just look down. You feel sad. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. Remember the word dreadful? Can you say the word dreadful? Good job. That means bad. She thought her name was bad. All right, we're going to stop right here, Kipsters. I want you to look at the illustration on this page. That means we're looking at the picture on this page. And we're going to count how many characters we see. And we're also going to say how we know it's a character by describing it. All right, so go ahead and count how many characters you see in this illustration, in this picture. Ready? Go. Can you show me with your fingers how many characters you counted? Good job. I see you have 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers up. Let's see if you're right. I see 1 character, 2 characters, 3, and 4. Good job, Kipster. Now, I'm going to ask you the big question. How did you know that those were characters? Good job. Yes, we know that a character can be a person, an animal, or an object, and that it must have a what? Yes, a face. And all of these animals on this page, they all have faces. Good job, kiddos. Kiddos, I'm going to stop right here because this book is really long and I don't want you to have to sit and get the wiggles for too long. But you all did a fantastic job identifying and describing the character. Remember, a character can be a what? Good job. It can be a person, an animal, or an object, and they must have a what? Good job. A face. Let's sing the song. Ready? A character has a face. A character has a face. Eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. A character has a face. Good, because we are going to be asking you not only to identify the character, but we're going to be saying, how do you know that's a character? And you have to be able to tell us, I know that's a character because it's an animal and it has a face. All right, you all did fantastic. Remember, in order to be a good writer, we have to be able to identify characters so we can draw characters. And then what we're going to do when we draw characters, we're going to add details to our pictures, and then our picture is going to turn into words. All right, so I can't wait to do our next writing lesson. And so keep practicing, keep identifying characters, and keep describing how you know that's a character. All right. Bye, kiddos.